Between the three whaling countries of Japan, Norway, and Iceland, 2,000 whales are slaughtered each and every year. 50,000 fin, mink, humpback, sei, and sperm whales have met their demise since 1986. Ladies and gentlemen, this is simply unacceptable. I know that I have some animal lovers in the audience, some environmental enthusiasts as well. Every whale on the list of whales I just gave you is an endangered species. Some with critically low population numbers, all because of whaling. Being an animal lover and an environmental rights supporter who has done extensive research on the inhumanity of whaling, I feel qualified to bring this information to you today. The purpose of my speech is to persuade each and every one of you that whaling is a horrible practice and should be stopped. Throughout my speech, I will inform you about the cruel ways in which the whales are killed, the legal factors surrounding the practice, and the importance of whales to our environment. The first reason why whaling should be stopped is the terrible way in which the whales are slaughtered. According to the International Fund for Animal Welfare's website, whales are pursued to the point of exhaustion and then shot with exploding harpoons that are often not instantly fatal upon impact, therefore leaving the majestic animals in unimaginable pain as they're dragged onto the ship's boat deck and shot sometimes several times by high-powered rifles to end their suffering. Another way in which these beautiful creatures meet an untimely demise is through suffocation. As you well know, whales are mammals and need oxygen to breathe for survival. Thus, when whales are harpooned in the tail region and dragged to the whaling boat, their heads are forced underwater. This starts a slow and inhumane suffocation process that leads to death. The last and longest process of murder for these gentle giants is bleeding out. In this case, an exploding harpoon does not catch, or the line is broken in the struggle, leaving a huge gaping hole in the whale. A full-grown humpback whale has enough blood to fill 17 Olympic-sized swimming pools. So you can imagine the torture that this animal goes through during this process. Death is imminent, however, is a slow, painful process lasting several days. A second very important reason that whaling should be stopped is the legal aspect surrounding this horrible practice. The International Whaling Commission, or the IWC, placed a global ban on all commercial whaling in 1986. This ban came after it was noted that the whale populations had decreased drastically, according to the International Whale Protection.org. Furthermore, the Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species forbids the trade of whale products such as blubber, meat, and baleen. Unfortunately, due to the non-binding nature of this international agreement, the whaling nations of Japan, Norway, and Iceland have simply opted out of the established regulations and continue to slaughter whales. Japan has found a loophole in the agreement that allows research-based whaling and continues to slaughter countless whales under the false pretense of profit and trade. Even after the IWC Scientific Committee has repeatedly declared that lethal research methods are not necessary for whale research, whaling does continue. For Norway and Iceland, they claim that whaling is a cultural aspect of their countries and continue the senseless killing of these majestic creatures. The final reason to cease the whaling practice is the benefits that whales have on our environment. According to whalefacts.org, whales are vital to the regulation of food in the oceans by maintaining a stable food chain. A blue whale, the largest species in the ocean, consumes about 40 million krill every day. This may seem like a lot. However, consider the fact that if whales aren't eating the krill would overpopulate the ocean and therefore throw the entire ecosystem off base. Furthermore, a sperm's excrement helps to stimulate the growth of phytoplankton, which in turn feeds the organisms that eat plankton, which includes some species of whales. You may not know it yet, but humans are also affected indirectly by whales. Going back to the phytoplankton that we talked about earlier, well, these little guys are photosynthetic powerhouses, removing 400,000 tons of carbon from the atmosphere every year. With the removal of carbon, you get the release of oxygen, which is required for all human life on Earth. Again, the purpose of my speech today is to persuade you, each and every one of you, that whaling is a horrible practice and should be stopped. I have informed you of the cruel way in which the whales are killed, the legal aspect surrounding the practice, and informed you of the importance of whales to our environment. As an animal lover, I feel qualified to present this information to you because of my involvement in environmental rights and my research on whaling. Put yourself in the whale's place for a minute. Put on their tail fin. Look through their eyes for just a moment. The pain, the agony, the anguish, the fear they feel when that harpoon stabs them. It's truly heartbreaking. The numbers do not lie. The endangered species list is not getting any shorter. We need to put a halt to this practice, and we need to put a halt to it now.